Is up? Welcome to another edition of SacTown Movie Buffs. Once again, I'm Kier, and this is Jason. And today we are back reviewing a film that is actually still in theaters. I know you saw it quite some time ago. I still saw this in theaters. It might have been like the last weekend that it was playing. But I saw it in theaters over the weekend. I think you saw it like a couple months ago, I'm assuming.
I think I saw it Thanksgiving weekend, maybe.
Okay, so
it's been a while.
Yeah. So it's been a hot minute. The movie that we're referring to is
because it's February now.
Yeah, it's February. The movie that we're referring to is House of Gucci. Still playing in theaters, so it's still fairly new-ish, I guess. It's not you can't stream it anywhere yet, so that's still so you still have to see it in theaters. So it's House of Gucci, and I say without further ado, I say we get right into it. So I'll go ahead and take this one on. So House of Gucci basically is a film that kind of goes through kind of like the Gucci family, starting like way back in like 1978, I believe. So it stars Adam Driver as Maurizio Gucci, who is basically the son of one of the Gucci founders. This is played by Al Pacino, which his father is Aldo Gucci. And then Aldo had a brother who is actually I got that switched. Actually, Adam Driver is the son of Rodolfo Gucci. I'm sorry, who is Jeremy Irons, who plays that. But his brother is Aldo Gucci, so that's his uncle. And his uncle also has a son called was it Paolo Gucci? Paolo Gucci. It's actually played by Jared Leto, who honestly I didn't even recognize who he was in the film because he had so much good makeup on. I totally forgot that he was even in the film.
Yeah.
So the story basically stars Maurizio Gucci, like I said, played by Adam Driver, and he basically is kind of pursued, I guess, if you will, by this lady named Patrizia Reggiani, that's played by Lady Gaga, who basically pursues him. I don't know. I'm assuming. A lot of people are assuming because maybe he had money or she knew the Gucci name or something of that nature. So she basically pursues him. They spark up a relationship, and then they eventually get married, even despite the father approving of the marriage. And basically, he's kind of like thrown out of, I guess, the family, I guess, if you will. But then his father is gets sick and passes away, and then he basically comes back into the family along with his wife. Through basically his uncle to help run the Gucci family. And so the story basically is just kind of like their ups and downs as a family in terms of, who's going to have ownership over the Gucci, and they've all got their own kind of ideas. His uncle kind of wants to run things kind of like the old school way. He's got his own thoughts. And then his uncle's son or his cousin has his own thoughts about what's going to happen. And then, of course, his wife is also chiming in about, her thoughts of, how the company should be run. And that's kind of basically the general gist of the film, if you will. It's basically just about their family, kind of like this dynasty of family, and who's going to take over control and who's going to take over ownership. It's kind of basically kind of how most of the movie is constructed. And then obviously there's some issues with in the marriage between the two of them, and some unfortunate series of events that happen. I'm not going to go into details of it. I didn't know the story going into the film, so I'm not going to share that story. Obviously, you could look online and figure out everything that happens. But the movie's a drama, kind of a comedy in parts because it's just kind of funny in parts. But in a nutshell, I liked it. I thought it was fun. I thought it was like a really, really good fun film. Lady Gaga is a really, really good actress. And I think she really steals the show this film. I think she was kind of like the bright star. Everybody else, I mean, obviously the makeup effects that they use for Jared Leto is great because you can't even recognize that that's Jared Leto in the film. I think that's really good. Adam Driver is always kind of like the same. In my opinion, I like Adam Driver. I've never been as big of a fan of Adam Driver because I always think he always plays kind of like that same kind of weird, quirky kind of character in almost all of his films, I feel like, good or bad. But I think Lady Gaga is the one that really, really steals the show. And I think she's the one that actually is getting all of the praise in the film because the film hasn't been, it's been a little polarizing with critics. Some have loved it, some haven't. But I think if anything's constant, everybody says they really love Lady Gaga. And I agree. I think she's probably like the shining spot of the film itself. I think she did a phenomenal job. You know, and you know, she's the few films that I've seen her in, she's always been a pretty good actress. I you know, definitely think that she'll probably do more films in the future, because I think she played a really good role of like a you know, a woman who is eventually scorned and kind of thrown out, you know, and that kind of stuff, and kind of how she, you know, comes back after that. And it's a crazy story, you know, reading about the Gucci family and the dynamics and, you know, the ownership of it, and, you know, who's going to take over control and who ultimately ends up with control over it. Yeah, I just like that. I'm always interested in that stuff. Reminds me a little bit, this one's a little bit more of a callous tale, but it reminds me a little bit of The Founder, with the McDonald's story kind of thing, where, you know, it's like all these people are fighting over control and ownership and that kind of stuff. So remind me a little bit of that in some capacity. Same kind of thing, kind of a drama, you know, you know, the husband's always like moving on to some new wife or something of that nature. So it's kind of that same kind of parallel thing that happens, I guess, a lot of times with rich people, just in general, I guess. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was a good film. Like I said, I was a little hesitant to see it because it is really long for one. It's like 2.5 hours long or something like that, I think. Yeah. It is a long film for sure. Yeah, when I saw it on Sunday, and I guess I forgot how long it was. I went to like a 12:30 showing, and, you know, we didn't get out till, you know, well after 3. So I was like, oh. So I was like, well, the day's done. But so it is a very long film. So I will say that about it. And I don't know. I think it also it's just getting mixed reviews kind of in general. But I enjoy it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a really good film. I thought it was really solid. I thought all the performances overall were good. You know, I mean, all the actors are well-known actors. They're all good actors and that sort of stuff. But I liked the story. I thought it was interesting. And, you know, I had a good time watching it. What was your take, Jason?
Yeah, I really liked it too. You know, again, you know, it's been a few months since I saw it, so my memory is not as strong as it would have been back then. But I did really enjoy it. You know, I remember quite a bit about it for it being, you know, 3 months ago or 2 months ago or whatever. But yeah, what I tell people is that it's like a mafia movie meets a soap opera. It kind of, you know, it's got that kind of feel.
Yeah.
And
like, because they're all Italian. They all have like that Italian kind of accent, and you know, like the way they talk and the way they talk to each other, and, you know, they're always cussing each other out and that sort of stuff. So it does have that mobster kind of feel to it, but it also has a soap opera because of the storylines and the family dynamic and that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, and power struggles, and, you know, there is some, you know, no spoilers, but there is some violence, and I mean, I don't know if it's a spoiler because you can look it up in the news, but you know, I mean, like we just reviewed you know, the tragedy of Macbeth, and, you know, you could kind of look at this story as almost a Shakespearean tragedy with, you know, jealous siblings and you know, parental, you know, father son tension, and like power hungry characters, you know what I mean? Like you could kind of see this as a Shakespearean
forbidden romances, you know what I mean? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So like, yeah, I thought it was like all the performances are really good. Like you said, Lady Gaga is great. You know, it's been a while since I've seen Jeremy Irons in a really like juicy role, and he's really good. Al Pacino is Al Pacino. I mean, I'll watch him do what he does every day, you know. Yeah, exactly. And you know, Lady Gaga is great, of course, but like, to me, like, and I know it's like it's a little divisive, but I really enjoyed Jared Leto. I thought he was probably the most entertaining performance.
Yeah, he was definitely the funniest because he's very dare I say feminine in this film, but he's very like soft and just kind of like, and the way his voice, he's just like, well, I just have all these great ideas and no one's just listening to me. And
I know.
To me. Like,
he's very eccentric. I'll put it
eccentric at the very least. So he's an interesting character. But no, I mean, I thought all the performances were good. I mean, obviously for me, Lady Gaga still stood out the most, just in my personal opinion. But I thought they all did a good serviceable job. I thought everybody was good in there for sure. It was like I said, I enjoyed it. I liked it better than I thought I would, for sure. So
yeah, I thought you'd like it. So I'm glad you went to see it. But I just really, it's an enjoyable movie. Like, it is long, but I don't remember ever feeling like, I don't ever, I mean, it felt long, but I don't ever remember like feeling like I was minding that it was long. You know, it feels like an epic story. You know what I mean? And it kept my attention. And you know, I get like a lot of the negative reviews are that, you know, the characters are all being written. They're written as caricatures. They're all exaggerated. And, you know, especially Jared Leto's performance. Yeah. It's an exaggeration.
Yeah.
You could say it's an Italian stereotype, a lot of them. And then a lot of people also say, like, given that it is somewhat of a tragedy, is it appropriate that it's funny as it is? Because it is, like you said, quite funny a lot of the time. Is the humor like the right choice for the material? I don't know. Like, I heard all that stuff, but like, I guess I didn't mind any of that stuff. It seemed right for the material, and it didn't seem offensive to me, you know? So I don't know. It seemed like the right choice for the material, because it's a tragedy, but it's also like, it is campy at the same time too. And I think, you know, I guess, you know, we're dealing with like extravagantly wealthy people who do have kind of ridiculous lives. So kind of a little bit of satirical campy humor seemed right at home, to be honest. So, you know, it didn't, like, I just thought it was a really entertaining movie, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, I personally didn't have an issue that it was kind of tongue in cheek, but it's also kind of a tragedy as well.
It can be both, you know?
Yeah, it can be both. And you're talking about a tragedy that happened, you know, close to 30 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, I mean, granted, a lot of these people are still living, or some of them are anyways. But yeah, I mean, it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you could argue whether or not they could have just made it a serious film, but I don't think that necessarily needed to. And I don't know that it would have been any better if it was serious. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't say. So, but like I said, I liked it for what it was. I thought it, you know, I think you needed a little bit of humor in it because, yeah, I mean, they're caricatures, but I gotta imagine there's some truth to it. It's some resemblance of it, or whatever case may be. So I think so. Anyways, I don't know. Maybe I could be completely off. You know, I obviously didn't know them and haven't read up on enough about them to find out what they were really like or whatever. Yeah. But no, I like I said, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun film, and like I said, it's definitely one that you know, even though it's super long, I would personally probably watch it. I would watch it again. So
yeah, it's a fun movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And a sad movie, and a lot of movies. It's a lot of different things. Yeah,
it's a lot of different things. It's a lot of movie for sure.
Yeah,
just like
it is a lot of movie. Yes.
Yeah.
In every sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, anything else you want to add about House of Gucci?
Nope.
Cool. Well, overall grade and face you would give this one?
I gave it a strong 4 out of 5, which is a B+. Yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. So it's a, you know, happy face.
Cool. Yeah. I wasn't too far off from you. I gave it 3.5 out of 5. So I definitely enjoyed this one quite a bit. So for me, that's just a big smile with some teeth.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a really, really fun film. I definitely enjoyed it. So you know, let us know down in the comments. Have you seen House of Gucci? Did you like it? Did you not like it? As always, if you like the channel, we ask that you like, subscribe, make sure you hit that bell notification, and we'll be back again with another show for you guys. We thank you for watching and hope you have a great day. Bye.